So we talked about a couple different offenses, good and bad. But another segment I want to get into is way too early offensive rookie of the year prediction.
Let's go.
So you can go on the FanDuel Sportsbook right now and see all the odds. I'll have some of them going in the ticker at the bottom of the screen here for offensive rookie of the year betting odds. Alex, I'll have you go first with this one. Give me a heavy favorite. Give me a chalk pick and build up the narrative for me.
Here's the thing, Steph. We were going through this exercise, and it was like, let's get our pick and then get a sleeper. A little behind-the-scenes action for everybody. That's what we did. And I'm like, I literally penciled in Joe Burrow as how could I not pick Joe Burrow as the chalk pick for Rookie of the Year? Number 1 overall pick. He's a quarterback. He's talented. He's got weapons in Cincinnati. So naturally, I decided not to pick Joe Burrow, and I went with my boy, Jonathan Taylor. Yes, it's a bit of a homer pick. I am a Colts fan, but Jonathan Taylor has the ability to be the Rookie of the Year this season, and let me tell you why. First of all, Taylor is an incredibly talented player, and I truly think he has the build to be a workhorse in the NFL. He can score on the goal line. He had 26 touchdowns in his last year in college. He has 4.39 speed, and he can catch the ball decent. I'm not going to say he's elite at catching the ball, but he can definitely get it done. So he has the makeup of what can be a workhorse back in the NFL. And that's exactly what you want for upside in fantasy. And if you look at this Rookie of the Year race, Jonathan Taylor could get a lot of touches on the ground and a lot of work through the air. The Colts, first things first, set up Taylor in a great situation. They were 7th in the NFL in rush yards per game last season, 5th in rushing attempts. There's going to be plenty of rushing volume to go around, even with Marlon Mack there. And the Colts have an elite offensive line. They were able to retain that offensive line this offseason with Costanzo coming back and not retiring. Quentin Nelson is there at the guard position. And Ryan Kelly at center. He's a really good player as well. So this offensive line is elite, and Jonathan Taylor is going to have an incredible time this season running behind that line. And I look at this offense last season. I know the big counter argument for Jonathan Taylor, at least in his rookie year, is Marlon Mack. And last season, Marlon Mack had 247 carries. All other Colts running backs combined for 152 carries. So there is a ton of volume to go around in this offense. And I actually think as a rookie starting out in a timeshare, Jonathan Taylor is going to get more than 200 carries in this offense. And I think over 200 carries could be more than enough for Jonathan Taylor to push 1,000 yards. So I have him projected somewhere around 50 targets as well. And I mean, Jonathan Taylor is a big play guy. He's got that 4.39 speed. So if Jonathan Taylor is able to take that speed and break some big plays this season, I think it's fairly realistic that Jonathan Taylor could end up with somewhere around 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns on the ground, which to me puts him right in that conversation for offensive rookie of the year. It's going to take a lot for him to get there, but I think even with Marlon Mack there, if Jonathan Taylor can get the work, he has the talent to get it done, he has the touchdown upside and a really good offense, and he has the big play ability as well. So to me, there's no better candidate than Jonathan Taylor. I mean, especially if you're looking past some of those quarterbacks and you want some deeper guys, Taylor is the name. And listen, if anything happens to Marlon Mack in this offense, Taylor is going to take off like a rocket ship. If anything happens to Marlon Mack, oh my gosh, it's going to be the Jonathan Taylor show. Everyone is going to wish they had him in their lineup. And let me tell you, Marlon Mack has missed at least 2 games in each of his 3 NFL seasons. So if those stats tell us anything, there will be a couple weeks where Jonathan Taylor has this backfield to himself. Maybe he's sharing with Nyheim Hines if we count him, but my goodness, I think Jonathan Taylor has an incredibly large upside this season as a rookie.
I remember when Offensive Rookie of the Year came out, like when they announced it and Kyler Murray won it in 2019, a lot of people were saying Josh Jacobs got snubbed. Like he was right up there in the discussion. Yep. And you look at his stat line, it's kind of like what you had for Taylor. We have 242 rushes for 1,150 yards, 7 touchdowns, 4.8 yards per attempt, and then he had 20 receptions as well. So, I mean, you look at the stat line, it's like that gets you pretty close. So, I like the Jonathan Taylor pick a lot. I see him as a Ezekiel Elliott comp, and I already talked about at the beginning of the show how much we love Zeke. So, I'm with you there on Jonathan Taylor. I think he'll be great. Right now, FanDuel odds have him at, let's see here, 5th overall at plus 950. So, not a bad bet if you want to take the flyer on Taylor. Certainly, I think you could see it.